Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark.
If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to another episode of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. For those of you familiar with 5th edition, keep in mind that all of our players are playing a custom class called the ClockTower Agent. We also play with a lot of house rules in our games that we as a group collectively enjoy. We explain these rules as they come up, so if you're just joining us, you may need to listen to previous episodes to clear up any confusion. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and welcome to the ClockTower. It's hard to describe the terror you feel when you are honestly and truly lost. When a moment ago you knew where you were and where you were going. And then, like being splashed by cold water, the realization that you now do not know where you are and have no idea where you're going is shocking. That's kind of what it's like, Yeager. A moment ago, you were with your friends, and you had a purpose. And before you knew what had happened, you were gone. But even now, as you're starting to regain some form of consciousness, you don't know where you are or where you're going. Things start to drift into your vision, and you slowly realize that you are seeing, that it's not just an all-encompassing blackness. And the things that you see out of the corner of your eyes, you wish that you didn't. Like standing in the ocean and feeling something brush up against your leg, but not knowing what it was. Like turning a light off in a room, standing in the darkness, and out of the corner of your eye, you could have sworn in that last second of light that something was standing there. Like the feeling of being watched on a dark street late at night when you're alone. There are things all around you, and you can't see them. And worse yet, you feel frozen, like you can't move. Like every part of you is screaming to get away, and yet you can't. Then, suddenly, a wave of some kind washes over you, and you feel strange. Suddenly everything is too bright, painfully so. And the light itself is so blinding that you again can't see anything. But this time it's a different feeling. You don't feel like you're floating or like you're paralyzed or you can't move. Instead, you just feel like there's wind, air, rushing all around you. It's not a bad feeling. It feels kind of nice, actually, kind of exciting. That is until you realize you're falling and that you can't see the ground. What do you do?
Yeager doesn't scream. Yeager is still stuck in a mental mindset of all-consuming fear, and that seemed to have made him mute. But the entire time his eyes are scanning, searching the area, trying to find a way out, seeing if he can find some sort of situation that will help him. Could I pick up a perception check?
Yeah, roll.
It's a 1.
As you look around, you see that the sky that you're falling through is a greenish color, and the clouds all around you are a light pink. And you realize that this doesn't make any sense. This is very wrong. And you have just enough time to see that your hat is starting to fly off of your head just from the wind pushing you before you slam into one of those pink clouds, and you immediately burst through it like hitting the surface of water. And suddenly you realize that you are in water. Deep water. Dark blue, and beneath you, you see something massive swim past you. So big that you are in scale like a small ant to this creature, and you see as it swims past and goes just out of your vision, a cascading line of eyes slowly open in sequence to turn as it starts swimming back towards you. You see the surface of the water above you.
I rush to swim up.
As you rush to swim up, you immediately realize that the surface of the water looks strange, but you don't have enough time to think about it. And still, you go up, and in choking, gasping breaths, you are spitting sand out of your mouth, and you are in what looks like a desert made of salt and pepper. Like, it's white sand with black speckles all over it, and you see a hand, like a dried, withered hand, sticking out of the sand nearby you. And everything about this place seems just very salty. As you look over, you see that not only are there hands scattered throughout this place of like different people that look like they got buried in the sand, but there are tall trees that in themselves, they look kind of like twisted people reaching towards the sky.
Where's the water I came out of?
What water you came out of?
Oh, I hate it. Yeah, stand.
As you stand up, you see your hat has ended up in the sand ahead of you.
You go to pick it up.
As you pick it up, you see one of the hands sticking out of the sand. Its fingers crack as it moves, jerking violently, and then rising out of the sand, the withered bodies start to shuffle towards you. And you see, as they turn their faces to you, that there is just a collapsed hole where their face should be. And that same sort of white with black speckled sand is pouring out of that hole in their face.
It's odd, because even though Yeager is having an existential crisis of self, having these things come at him, seeming to want to deal him some sort of harm, makes a small smile cross his lips.
That's good. Roll initiative.
Initiative of 23.
Did you get a natural 20?
No, I got a 17.
What's your initiative bonus?
Alert.
You
Oh.
love that
6.
feat so much.
Always take the alert.
You
feat
always
every
take it.
time.
Bro, if I have to go first, I'm dealing out damage as fast as I can.
Yeah.
First one that comes at me, I literally lift my rifle at from point blank range and fire directly into the middle of its head.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 16 to hit
You hit.
for 9 points damage.
It collapses. You shoot it, and your gunshot echoes across the sandy wasteland, and it just falls over. Its own sand pouring out of the hole in its head, continuing to bury it deeper in the sand. Can you roll a constitution check?
I can. Ooh, that's good. It's gonna be a 21.
You cough a little bit and spit to the side and see some of that white and black speckled sand come out of your mouth.
Yeager reaches down, pulls his bandana that he has around his neck up over his face to try to keep as much of this, whatever is wrong with this place, out of his system, and then continues firing as he just begins moving away from these creatures.
As you level your gun up, looking down the sights, you fire again, firing at more and more of the creatures, easily dropping every one that you hit and backing away even as their numbers continue to grow. everyone else seems to look at the horologist with sort of worried expressions as the horologist says, "Do you have any idea of where you might have to go?"
Absolutely not. The mirror where we go to places was fractured into hundreds of pieces. He touched one and then evaporated. I have no idea where he is. Is there like a directory or something? Like, is there a list? Can we just like go to the list?
So your friend just disappeared? If they didn't go somewhere, then they probably went nowhere.
Is that a thing? Can you find watches?
Can I find watches? No,
Oh.
I just fix them.
Do you know someone who can?
Well, probably the owl. If anybody knows where to find your friend, it's probably the owl.
Is there any place around here that we're able to travel from world to world?
Well, there is the back door.
Does that take us out?
Well, I don't know. I've never opened it.
That's concerning.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to concern you.
What do you mean back door?
I'll show you. Follow me. And very quickly, they move through their shop, pushing themselves forward as they slowly sort of turn around and with their hands gesture towards a large wooden door set into the back of the shop.
So this is a door, a back door.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't you opened it?
Because I don't want to leave. You don't need to go through a door if you don't want to leave.
But this does lead out.
Well, it leads to somewhere that's not here. Isn't that better than what you've got?
Yeah. You have no idea where it leads?
Not here. Well, I guess from somewhere else it might lead here. But right now it just leads out.
Is there anything we can trade or get from you that would help us?
Well, I'm already fixing your watches.
Out of character. Do they still have our watches?
Yeah, Reagan's is still on the counter all taken apart.
So we're leaving here without our watches?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying you are. That's up to you.
Excuse me. I've blanked on your name. Do you have something I can call you?
Not really.
Okay. What happens if we leave here without our pocket watches?
Well, I don't know. I've never left here without a pocket watch. But I've never left here. What an adventure this will be. They nod and look at you, as if they're excited for all of you.
Can we exist without a pocket watch on us?
Well, of course. Even if a fallen star breaks their own watch, they still exist. They just don't have any way to get back home.
If our watches are with you, can we get back home?
Oh, I'll send them back to you.
Oh.
Rock visibly, shakes their head.
Well, yeah, I'll just put them in the box.
And that sends it to us wherever we are.
Well, I assume so. It says delivery on it.
Can Rock look around for this delivery box?
There is a box. When I say a box, it's like one of those mailbox wall chutes that you can put things in and then close it. And it just says delivery on it.
But you need all of the watches, too.
Well, to figure out what's wrong with them, yeah. Oh, that means you'll have to have a way to send it back to me. I've never had this problem before.
Rock begrudgingly, because they never gave it to them, takes out their pocket watch and just goes, here.
Like, oh, it's so pretty.
Thank you.
It's like your eyes. And they take it and they
Flattering.
put it on the table and start taking it apart too.
Oh, I guess I should probably. And Sam unhooks their pocket watch and slides it up on the counter.
Thank you.
Can we
Welcome.
test the delivery system really quick?
Oh, But they're not ready yet.
Can you send anything else through the delivery system?
I would just assume it would come back here with us.
They seem worried and confused as they go, well, I've never really thought about whether or not it works. I just trust that the clock tower will do what needs to be done.
Rock, hearing that, takes off their hat and goes, I'm going to walk out through the door we came. I'm going to give this hat to you. Let's see if you put it in the delivery box if I come back inside with the hat.
What door?
Rock turns.
The door you guys came in from is not there.
Son of a clock tower.
I think we're all people of ClockTower.
Fair point. Okay. All right. You know what?
I don't want to rush you, but your friend's lost?
Yeah, we need to go.
Should we go then?
If you find your friend's pocket watch, just give it to the owl. They'll make sure that I get it.
And how do we find the owl?
You don't know they've got blue hair?
Oh.
A dawning realization sets on all of you that the entity you have all been referring to every time you give Lawrence, Lily, or any of those people a coin, this person, the Horologist, is referring to them as the owl. They're my friend.
Rock not only has the dawning realization on their face, but the slight dawning horror, and after just looking down instinctively, looks back up and goes, if we can't find the owl, is there a different way we can get these back to you?
I don't know.
We need to go.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. I'll miss you.
Hopefully we can come back.
I don't think so. People don't come back here.
Yeah. And Rock's gonna open the door
Well, it was a pleasure anyway.
and walk through.
As you guys are watching and bidding goodbye to this person, Rock opens the door with one final glance back to you guys, walks through, but there's not a step, and they fall.
Before you step out of that door, I want to talk to you, but not now. But I am going to talk to you, because you're all being jerks.
This seems like a personal matter. I'm gonna go back.
That is,
to
I'm
fixing-
sorry. I'm going to step out now. And Sam walks out and kind of hops.
Oh, you also just whoop, and are gone. And Reagan, as you look out the side of the door and look on either side of it and realize that it's just a door into the void that you guys walked on the steps above to get here in the first place.
You did say Yeager might be in nowhere, right?
Well, I mean, you said that he didn't go somewhere. If you've eliminated all the other possibilities, then maybe something that isn't possible is where he is.
Reagan nods his head.
Does he share your same exasperated expression?
Well, he doesn't stick his tongue out at this nice person. Slightly exasperated. Yes. He kindly says thank you
You're welcome.
and trying his darndest not to slam the door but still close it behind him.
Just as you lose your balance and start to fall and realize that not slamming the door is a little harder than you thought, considering there's nothing for you to gain purchase on the other side of this, you hear the small voice just say, "Bye, Reagan." And then you fall. And as all of you fall, you realize that you can't see any of the others because you're by yourself. You all fell at different times. And as everything goes black, Rock, you open your eyes and you're on some sort of cot, some sort of bed, but there's a smell in the air that immediately is familiar to you. It smells like mud and iron, and there's a small taste of rusted metal.
Am I on a farm?
No, actually, you're in a barracks tent. And as you stand up and pull your sword out, this place looks familiar because it reminds you of your path to the clock tower. And in the distance, you hear the screams of war. Sam, you wake up and you can hear the sound of a waterfall gently pouring into a pond. And as you look around, you realize that you are sleeping on a small grassy meadow. And the waterfall next to you is coming from a river. And the waterfall is flowing up and pouring into a pond that is in a sort of upside down stone basin. And it is pouring up into another waterfall that trickles up into the sky. And you see small, like, butterflies made of immaculate light start flying around. And you realize, just as Rock felt, this is familiar to you. Yet another strange land and another problem to try and figure out how to find your friends. Reagan, like the others, you find yourself in a strange place. For you, tall buildings tower above you, leaving you deep in their shadow. The way they're built at the top seems to get hazy, and a green, twisting gray sky roils above you, and you see the wet cobblestones all over the place as you realize that danger could be around any corner of any of these alleys, and your friends are gone. Lastly, Yeager, as you are fighting these things off, their numbers start to overwhelm you. They start to get closer, and then a sound that you have never heard makes you immediately stop, because as you take aim at one of them and pull the trigger, your gun lets a silent click.
No. And with that, I turn and begin sprinting off in the other direction as I reach around myself, trying to find the bullets that I normally always have. They're always in a pocket.
And you realize that usually you pull them off your belt, and you never seem to run out of any of them. But as you're pulling them off your belt, they're just gone. And then you realize that you can't find them even as you're searching, and you run through the sand. And as you run, you see a massive tree in the distance. This one doesn't look like any of the twisted trees that look almost like people. This one looks like an old dead oak tree. And sitting underneath it seems to be somebody reading a book.
I head in that direction. It's the only not salt creature looking thing around here.
And as you go that way, you realize that the sand kind of stops, and it gives way to all of the dead leaves that have fallen from this tree that blanket the ground. And as you get closer, you immediately realize that the person sitting under the tree has blue hair and a rough, almost linen-spun dress. And they are reading a book, and the last time you remember seeing them, they were staring at a coin as all of you backed up.
Lily?
They look up from their book and go, "Hello."
Do you remember me? Or
They look at you, and with a dawning horror on their face, they drop their book, and they're looking at you like they're looking at someone who wants to kill them. Or in this case, I guess, someone who did.
Wait. I am sorry. I really am.
You all led me to that thing.
Look, and Yeager's going to sit down away from Lily to make sure they know that he's not a threat. His gun's on his back, away from him. Look, when we did that, we thought that we could save you immediately after. I swear to you, we had no idea it was going to be so final.
Save me after. You planned on letting me get eaten by that thing?
Look, we had asked someone. Well, we had asked what would happen.
They put their hands on their head and shake their head, and they go, I know who you asked!
You do?
They look up at you, and they say, I remember everything. All of it. Everything that it remembers, I remember, and I can't get it out of my head. It's constantly playing everything on loop, and I don't know where I am, and I'm stuck here because of you.
You're right.
I am alone on the edge of nowhere, and it's your fault.
You're right. It is. You're right. Even if we thought we could save you, it doesn't exchange itself for what we did. It doesn't change anything. We still did it. And I am sorry. My family was taken and missing, and I thought if we saved them, we could save you and save all the other ones who the snake had taken, and...
They start to slowly clap. A mocking, taunting clap. And then they say, oh, bravo. Your family is gone. I'm so very sad for you. And as you look up at Lily, you realize that their eyes have changed into that same sort of window into starlight. And they say, I had a bad time in my past, so I let an innocent girl get eaten by a giant snake. You fucker. I have no sympathy for you or any of your stupid ClockTower agents, despite the fact that all of you seem to have royally fucked yourselves. I do, however, want to talk to Sam, because they and I need to have a conversation about how you damned me to a life here, the edge of existence, the place between places. You are all pathetic. I can't believe you tried to start another mission when you hadn't even finished your last one. Idiots. And they start walking away.
Where are you going?
Somewhere else. Somewhere where I don't have to deal with you.
I am sorry, though. I do want to tell you that.
You ClockTower agents are only sorry when it's over. When you get to return back to your little tower with your trophies and revel in your victories, but you don't care about what you leave behind. I wonder if I should check in and see how Wagon Wheel's doing after you let a light consume an entire world. Or a space station sucked into the void, but you restarted it, so it must be gone, right? You don't think about your actions. You don't think about how they affect others. You definitely don't think about how they affect me, or Lily, or Lawrence, or anyone. Until it's too late. Until it affects you. You deserve to be here. And the starlight literally streams down their cheek like tears, as if someone who was putting up an angry facade to not let other people know how badly they're hurt, and their entire posture and expression drops as Lily's voice says, I don't.
You don't. You're right. I'm not a hero. I don't know what I am anymore, but I'm going to find out. And if I can find a way to get you out of here, I will.
Part of what you're saying, you can tell from Lily's expression she believes you, that she thinks you're being sincere, and that just like you know you're on the edge of a breakthrough, of finding some common ground between the two of you, maybe her accepting your apology, not you're ready to be okay, but at least ready enough to let you try to help her get out of here. And then suddenly it vanishes as her eyes erupt in stars again, and that same voice returns as Lily shakes their head and says, no, you don't get to be sorry, and it doesn't get to be okay. automatically. You don't get to try and devote your life to saving Lily and getting her out of here. No! That's not how this works. Lily is not the only part of me. They're not the only part of me. The ClockTower agents have fucked royally, and you are not going to try and win her heart over because you think you can save her.
Yeager goes through his pockets just to see if he could find a coin. Probably can't, but...
Have you spent ClockTower coins on this mission?
No.
Quote-unquote mission?
No.
Then yeah, you have a coin.
I toss it.
As soon as you pull the coin out, they go, no! As if they're like incredibly, almost afraid of it. And as it falls at their feet, they like hang their head and they march forward, gritting their teeth, and they pick it up and they go, what do you want?
How do I save Lily and get myself out of here?
And like someone who you've just asked for the one thing they didn't want you to ask for, the one thing they didn't want you to know, they say, all you have to do is give me your pocket watch. And then you can go back to all of your friends, and you'll have to find a way to get back here the real way to save Lily.
Gets one more. How do I get back here the real way?
They look so mad. They snatch your coin away and they say, the same way you get anywhere, by going through the door. And I don't think you have any more coins, so I don't have to answer any more of your questions, and I don't have to be here. I guess you can talk with Lily. Have your little heart-to-heart. I don't care. And Lily, their eyes focus on you, and then they grab their head, and they shake it, and they go, it doesn't stop. It never stops.
I'm sorry. It's the only way I knew to find a way toward answer. I have something I can try now. I don't want to leave you here. And Yeager sort of leans back against the tree and slides down. If I give you my watch, I'll go back to my friends, but you'll be left here alone, and I'll have to find my way back to you somehow through a door. I don't know what this door is. I don't know how long this will take. Should I try?
They look at you, and their expression is hard to read. It's almost like they're not okay. They're not okay with you or being here, and they don't trust you. But ultimately, they say, if I could find a way out of here myself, I would have done so already. But I think there's a literal part of me, or maybe I'm part of something else that doesn't really care if I'm here or not.
And I have one option. And Yeager takes off his jacket, and sort of this long duster coat he has, and pulls off his hat, and puts his hat under Lily's head, and hands her his jacket.
They take it.
Hold on to it. I'll get it when I come back. Gotta keep the sun off your face.
They look up at the empty sky, and they go, well, if a sun comes before you get back, I will.
I won't forget you. I'll find a way back here, or I'll die trying.
They nod in a somber tone. They say, well, I hope you do get back here. I hope I'm not wrong to try and trust you twice.
God, I hope so too. And pulls out the watch and just hands it over.
And as they reach for it, we see the others. Rock, you're almost swept up into battle as if there were no other option. Quickly, the tent that you stood in was descended upon by enemy forces, and you were fighting for your life against hundreds of people. And we see in a sweeping montage as Rock is trying their hardest to again fight through a path of war and destruction. We see Sam walking up the side of a mountain that is floating in the middle of nowhere, trying aimlessly to navigate by the stars and by the several different suns that switch positions in the sky, letting their small pipe kind of point the way, and eventually we see Reagan looking over his shoulder, and every opportunity he gets, peeking down alleyways and trying desperately to find his way, almost from a bird's eye view through a sprawling city that seems to go on forever. And as Lily takes your pocket watch, Yeager, they look at you and they say, I hope you win. I hope I see you again. And
Put my hand on theirs before they can take it fully. And say, I'm doing my best.
And as you take your hands away, their hands are empty. So are yours. And pocket watch is gone. And then, like a breath of fresh air, you hear a chiming in the distance. All of you do. And then, like a wave crashing over you, like a wave sweeping you away from Lily, Yeager, you are all, in an instant, back in the clock tower, on the couch, in front of the mirror, completely repaired, as if nothing had ever happened. However, now, on the shelves, there is a small letter with a wax seal on it.
Wait, we're back?
Rock's gonna look towards Reagan and then look to where Yeager should be, and then actually seeing Yeager there and goes, I think we need to have a talk.
In a moment, Sam kind of shuffles off the couch and sort of into Yeager, and they just kind of give them a really long squeeze.
Yeager hugs him back. Tries not to put too much into it to make sure Sam still feels comfortable, but hugs him back as best he can.
And all of you notice something that is very strange. Yeager's hat, his coat, they're gone.
And Yeager reaches up and loosens his tie.
I check for my pocket watch.
It's there.
I check to see if Yeager's pocket watch is on him.
It is. And as all of you realize that all of your pocket watches are back, and I mean, they're silent right now, but they usually are before a mission has started.
I look over at the letter and go over to look at it.
It's a small envelope sealed with a wax seal, and the seal is the same symbol that is on the clock tower coins.
I open it and sort of read
It says simply, the pocket watches are fixed. I hope everything is back in working order. Your friend, the Horologist.
I have no idea what this says. Do you all know who sent this?
We do.
We met them while we tried to find you.
Rock's right, we need to talk.
Before we do anything else, before we leave this area, before we leave this clock tower, we need to get some things straight.
No secrets.
None.
Hey, Ellie again. Thank you for listening. As always, I'd like to thank our producer, Who's, at who's.music, and our Dead Air team for making the episodes what they are. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. Thank you to Darbii, Cal, Parker, and Trent for their great performances in this episode. As always, thank you for listening. If you want to listen to any of the music from our last two arcs, Wagon Wheel and Walk in the Park, check out our latest album, Music from the Clock Tower, Volume 3. You can find it on our YouTube page, or if you listen on Spotify or anywhere else, you can find it under the artist, Who's. We offer the music from Clock Tower free for anyone to use, provided they credit us in the description and give us a shout out whenever appropriate. As always, we release on a bi-weekly basis, so episode 25 will be out on Friday, May 28th. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the clock tower.